everyone, and welcome to Indo-Afric Therapeutics. My name is Rose Thuo, and I'm so glad you are here. Our topic of discussion today is on discouragement. Discouragement is something every human being will encounter, whether in the quiet hours of self-doubt or the loud moments of failure. It is an emotion that doesn't discriminate, affecting people from all walks of life. Let nobody lie to you that they have never gone through discouragement. But despite its familiarity, discouragement is often misunderstood. It is more than just a feeling. It's actually a signal, a mirror, and sometimes a turning point. To navigate it well, we need to understand where it comes from, what it does to us, and how to respond in ways that strengthen rather than weaken us. Discouragement is the quiet weight that many people walk around carrying so heavy. So discouragement often enters without knocking. There's no courtesy. It rarely arrives with fanfare or drama, but rather like a slow fog, dulling the once vivid outlines of hope, ambition, or confidence. Like I said, it has no courtesy. It enters without knocking. Unlike despair, which is loud and desperate, discouragement is quieter, more insidious. It lingers in the background, casting long shadows over our dreams, and making the next step forward feel like too heavy to take. When you see you're feeling like that, then that is discouragement. It means you're feeling discouraged. So what is discouragement? How can we define discouragement? One of the most powerful ways of expressing our emotions is being able to define them. So by definition, discouragement is an emotion. It's an emotional response to unmet expectations. So you're expecting this probably from a spouse or from a job interview, then those expectations are not met. When they are not met, discouragement strikes. Unmet expectations, repeated failures, criticism, or even prolonged uncertainty. It surfaces from the distance between where you are and where you hope or you hoped to be. And that's what gives us the weight. It's not always rooted in reality. That's something else to master. It often distorts perception, exaggerating setbacks, and minimizing progress. So you start to feel like you've been stuck in one place for so long. So it is not always factual, right? And as we mentioned earlier, it can affect anyone from all walks of life. Rich, poor, does not respect even color. Students feel it after poor exam results, despite all the effort they put in. Athletes encounter it after an injury or a defeat. People who are creative, or even like people like wrestlers, will face it and they will feel like it is rejection, right? Parents feel it when their efforts seem unnoticed. You raise a child so well, they don't seem to notice your efforts. Entrepreneurs know it when risks doesn't yield reward. You've invested so heavily into something, but then you're not making any profits. As we mentioned, discouragement is an emotion. How does it feel? Research shows us that it feels heavy. There's a distinct between lethargy or feeling lethargic to feeling discouragement. It's not just physical tiredness, but mental weariness. That is discouragement. You begin to question whether the effort is worth it. The other feeling that comes with discouragement is what we call a feeling within a feeling. It's loneliness. Discouragement isolates. You may feel like you are the only one struggling. You might feel like you're the only one going through whatever it is that you're going through, or that your struggle doesn't matter to anyone else. The other feeling that comes with discouragement is being doubtful. It erodes self-belief. You're once so confident, full of life regarding certain things, but now self-doubt comes in. What once felt possible now seems foolish and even naive, and we shy away from trying again. So let us understand common causes of discouragement. Number one is unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations. Setting goals that are too ambitious without a clear roadmap can set the stage for letdown. Setting overly ambitious goals without a clear roadmap can set a stage for letdown. Number two is comparison. Measuring your progress against others. Comparison, measuring your progress against others can quickly drain motivation, especially when social media showcases only their highlights. So you start comparing yourself with your friends and you're like, wow, we finished school with so and so, but see where they are. And I have not made any progress. There's nothing to show for myself. That is comparison. Another cause of discouragement is failure or rejection. Failure or rejection. So repeated setbacks can cause a lot of discouragement. So repeated setbacks can shake even the strongest resolve. You try, you fail. You try, you fail. You try, you fail. Yes, that can bring discouragement. The other common cause of discouragement is lack of support. That is facing obstacles alone, or feeling misunderstood can discouragement. So you feel like you're carrying the weight all alone and you lack support. Another cause of discouragement is burnout. Burnout, that is pushing too hard without rest or balance, leads to emotional fatigue. So emotional fatigue is what we refer to as burnout. And burnout is bad because it is closely related to depression. And depression is a disease. It's not a good thing. So why does this topic matter? Why do we need to discuss this topic? Why discouragement matters? All right, we need to understand, why does it matter that we have to sit down today and look through this topic? Now, at its core, discouragement is a signal, like emotional pain. It's not the enemy, but rather it's a message. It might be telling you to rest, to reassess your methods, to reconnect with your purpose, or to reach out for help. So ignoring it can lead to chronic dissatisfaction or even depression. Listening to it, however, with discernment can lead to growth and cause correction. So what are the healthy ways of responding to this painful emotion? Healthy ways to respond to discouragement. Number one, when you feel discouraged, it's an invitation for you to pause and reflect. Pause and reflect. Let's say you've experienced repeated failure, rejection. It's time to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what triggered this feeling? Understanding the source is the first step to clarity. Number two, another way to respond positively is break it down. For example, large goals become more manageable when split into smaller, achievable steps. Probably it's an investment or it's your study habits and you have this big goal you want to achieve. It's better for you to sit back and break it down into smaller steps, something you can easily do and achieve. Number three, reframe the narrative. Reframe the narrative. Failure doesn't mean you are incapable. No. It doesn't mean you are incapable. What it means is that you are learning. One setback doesn't erase all the progress. It means you have learned something, and so you can reframe the narrative and put things back into perspective. The next way to respond to discouragement is to talk about it. Talk about it. Sharing your discouragement with someone trusted can relieve the pressure and offer new perspective. So you can look for someone you trust, someone who will not judge you, share with them. Talk about your discouragement. Another way to respond to discouragement is by celebrating small wins, no matter how small. Celebrating small wins. Progress often goes unnoticed. Progress often goes unnoticed unless you intentionally acknowledge it. So celebrate small wins. Don't look down at the small achievements you have made over time. Look at the effort, even if the results are very discouraging. Another way of dealing with discouragement is rest without guilt. You've been working, you've been pushing yourself, you've, you've been working around the clock, and you're not achieving anything. Probably it's time to rest. And you don't have to feel guilt about it. Some of us feel guilty to just have enough sleep, to practice sleep hygiene. We feel like we are wasting time. Exhaustion distorts reality. Sometimes the most productive thing to do is to pause and rest. Rest can be the most productive thing for you to do. Another way to positively respond, positively respond to discouragement is reconnect with your why. Reconnect with your why. Discouragement loses strength when you remember your deeper reasons for trying. Why did you try in the first place? So reconnect with your why, and that might help you to put things in perspective or to see things more clearly. Again, when we are dealing with discouragement, there are things we need to be careful about. Let's look at what not to do. What not to do. We have looked at the do's. Let's look at what not to do. Number one, don't pretend that everything is fine. Denial delays healing. Number two, don't isolate for too long. Bounce back. Solitude can turn into self-punishment. We are not here to punish ourselves. Show up again. Don't base your worth on success alone. You are more than your productivity. You are more than your productivity. Now, with that in mind, let us look at the hidden power of discouragement. What is the hidden power of discouragement? Though painful, discouragement can clarify what truly matters. Discouragement can clarify what truly matters. It can show you what you value, what you're willing to fight for, and what you might need to let go. It's part of your emotional landscape of growth. Every meaningful journey, whether creative, personal, or professional, encounters it. In time, discouragement can and will actually become the beginning of wisdom. It teaches resilience, not as mere toughness, but as the ability to feel pain, listen to your pain, yet keep walking anyway. It's not a call for giving up. So as we wind up today's session, we want to look at discouragement. While deeply uncomfortable, is not the end of the road. It is a signpost, not a stop sign. When we begin to see it as an enemy, when when we start to see it not as an enemy, but as a part of emotional terrain of growth, you all experience these things. So you look at it as an emotional terrain of growth, we gain power over it. By acknowledging its presence, learning from its message, what it's trying to tell us pause, reflect, and refusing to let it define us. We are not our discouragement. Discouragement is just one of the experiences we experience in life. Then we can move forward with greater clarity and resilience. In the story of any meaningful life, discouragement doesn't have to be the final word unless we let it. Unless we let it. With those few remarks, I want to thank you for taking your time to listen to me, and I invite you to like and share this video and even subscribe to my channel. For now, goodbye.